I'm Mary Rose Livingston. My husband Don Hughes and I own the Northland Sheep Dairy here in Marathon, New York. We've been here for 8 years. Jane and Carl North started this farm in 1987, and they wanted a couple to go into partnership with them and then buy them out. I've been milking cows on and off since 1982. That's what I always thought I was going to be. When I was 9, I went to Ireland for the first time. That's where my mom is from, and I saw a guy milk a cow. Now, I grew up in the suburbs of Detroit, so I had no access to farms before that. But when I saw that guy milk a cow, I said, that's it. And I always wanted to be a cow dairy farmer ever since then. I actually say to people I went to college to learn how to milk cows. But I always knew I wanted to farm sustainably. I wanted to farm grass-based because that's what I saw in Ireland. So my whole trajectory was, learning this conventional cow dairy stuff, but knowing that I wanted to farm really differently. When Donna and I first moved to New York, we had bought a farm in Locke, New York, 90-acre dairy farm. And our plan was to do cow dairy there, 100% grass-fed cow dairy, and to make cheese. And we were still living in Washington State at the time. We weren't even married. We were a fairly new couple. And we flew out to New York and looked at a bunch of farms over the course of 2 weeks and said, oh, yeah, we'll buy this one. Flew back to Washington State, got married, packed up our horses and everything, and moved across the country to this farm. And we lived at it for about 4 months and realized we bought the wrong farm. So, which is a very bad way to start farming. I don't recommend it. The biggest mistake I think we made was not being able to communicate with each other about what we really wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. When we decided we wanted to sell that farm in Locke, we went to Europe for 4 months to travel around and work with other cheesemakers and get more ideas about what kind of cheese we wanted to make. And part of that trip was for 2 months we worked on this farm in England where they milked 200 sheep and 100 goats and made cheese. And this woman we worked for was a really good cheesemaker. And I fell in love with the sheep there. Loved them. And so then when we came back, we told Jane and Carl, if we're able to sell that other farm, we'll throw our lot in at Northland. And we did, and we did. When we first came here, Jane and Carl were milking about 40 ewes and farming 57 acres, which is what constitutes the home farm, as we say. When we started really managing the farm, we immediately leased an additional 40 acres of pasture land that's adjacent to us from our neighbor because we saw that the farm was just overgrazed and just didn't have enough grazable acreage. We also saw that the ewes were underfed, so we added the 40 acres right next door, and we've had that ever since. It doubles our grazing acreage. We were also bringing more horses onto the farm and doing more horse work, and so we knew we needed additional acreage for that. The other thing that's different for us is that we are making 80 to 90% of our own hay, whereas before they were buying in most of their hay. What we make here is our flagship product is our farmstead sheep milk cheeses. They're all raw milk cheeses. And when I became the cheesemaker here, I really wanted to cave age my cheeses. I wanted a natural rind. It's much more traditional. So we make European style cheeses, hard cheeses, a blue cheese, and our new cheese is a cardoon coagulated cheese. It's a Spanish style cheese. We also finish all of our lambs. They're 100% grass-fed. Before we got here, they used to sell off most of their lambs, but we really like raising lambs on pasture. It's really fun. So we finish all of our lambs, and then we have mutton animals. And we also tan sheepskins from our flock, and I shear the flock every year and send our wool out to a mill in Maine to be made into yarn. And everything we make, we market at the Ithaca Farmers Market. It's all sold 30 miles away at the farmers market. I guess that's the thing. I wanted to make good food for people and for myself. And I wanted to have fun doing it. I think farming is so fun. I've just wanted to do it my whole life. And I just want to tell other people, hey, you should be a farmer. Because it's great. I just love it. It's a really good life. We're very privileged. That's it. We live a very privileged life here. Yeah.